Les, you've been involved with businesses in Newgate Street for quite a long time now, haven't you? Can you tell us how you got started and where?
Well, just a very quick story. I been married a year, and that was in 1969. So in 1970, I trained as a chef. I did my apprenticeship as a chef, and then I got sick of working the hours, so I became a rep selling vending machines, which was a disaster. 3 months of that, and it wasn't what I thought it was. And just coincidentally, one Friday evening, I went into 60-minute cleaners on Newgate Street, where Bernardo's is now, to have a suit cleaned for my job. And the girl was crying when I went in. I said, "Hey, what's the matter?" I didn't know what she'd done. I had an accident or something. She said, "Oh no, I'm finished tomorrow." She said, "We're closing down all the 60-minute cleaners throughout the country. We're just closing." So I said, "Oh, who's the landlord?" And she said who the landlord was. So I rang him up and said, "Look, I was interested in the shop. Didn't know what I was going to do with it at the time. But I thought, well, I'll think of something, and something food related after training to be a chef." And I had a sister-in-law who was Polish, so she used to use a lot of Polish foods, and I thought, oh, we're great, we'll do a delicatessen. And there was us and Newman's in Newcastle, and we opened a delicatessen. So that was in 1970, 71, yeah.
And how long did you run that?
Oh, till about 1982.
And what was it that you moved on to?
Well, the reason we did that, it was very a lot of staff in a shop like that, and it was a lot of preparation, a lot of hours in it. And I thought, oh, this will be easy. What I'll do is sell the delicatessen, but I want to keep the premises. So we needed the upstairs of a unit in the new marketplace, and that was for the California Suite kitchen, and underneath was an empty shop. So I sold my delicatessen business on the proviso they moved to the shop down there, which they did do. And I thought, oh, we'll just open a gift shop, like a china and gifts, thinking, oh, dead easy, my wife and I, and not a problem. And we sold lots of things, like ceramics and that from Portugal and Spain in the very early days. And
what business was that called?
And that was called Touch of Class. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, we did fantastic the first year, and after that, most people who were buying the stuff had bought it, and I thought sales were slowing down, and we decided to open a boutique, and we opened a shop called She. And
where was that?
That was there, where the delicatessen was, and where Touch of Class was, and where a lady's shop for a couple of years, maybe. Got the opportunity to buy the property, so we bought it, and we knocked it down, of course, and built a new shop, and we put Bernardo's in, and that's how we eventually ended up on Newgate Street.
And you were also involved with the cafe there as well, weren't you?
Yeah, well, what happened was, the rear of 1 Newgate Street was 4 houses, an antique shop, and a little tiny warehouse, very small warehouse, and we owned it, of course. We bought that, and I thought, what could we do with this little thing? So we opened it as a coffee shop in 1977, so we're 40 years now. So we opened just a little tiny coffee shop, which was, we served in the corner, we sat 18 people, I think it was, and it was very successful. We actually nearly got an Only Good Food Guide, which was quite amazing to get a coffee shop in there.
And this was the wheat chief?
That was the wheat chief. Then Mrs. Hanley, who was in the antique shop, there was a staircase leading upstairs which was rotted, and she wanted it out the shop. So we said, right, we'll take that piece of shop off her, which was the size of a staircase, and we built a kitchen in there which served the coffee shop. And then a couple of years later she moved out, and we knocked right through and made the Wheat Chief Coffee Shop what it is now. Yeah. We don't own it now, we don't own the business, but we still own the premises, which we rent out. Yeah.
And that wasn't the end of your business love affair with Newgate Street, was it?
Yeah, well, we bought, At the top of the street, there used to be a baker's. Two sisters had it. And,
Was that the Givens?
Givens sisters. They had a shop at the top of the street, which didn't have a shop window, if anybody remembers. It only had a house window, like a sliding sash window. And that came up for sale. We had a look at it. It was absolutely destroyed inside. So we bought that, and we put a big pet shop in there, if anybody remembers. It was a double shop, it was a pet shop, and we put a flat upstairs above. And that's how we got onto Newgate Street again. And then later on, as you know, Packhorse Yard came along a lot of years later.
And that's your most recent venture?
Yeah, Packhorse Yard's a couple of years, 3 years ago now when we did that. Yeah.
And how many businesses operating there?
If you count the sewing box, which is the front shop, and there is 6 shops and 4 flats. Yeah,
So when you look back over all your experience in trading and owning property on Newgate Street, what other businesses that used to trade on that street do you miss?
Oh, I think a lot of things. There's Stokers, the butchers, were there for years. They did very good pies, and that fortunately has been taken. Martin's now do very good pies, so that was replaced. There wasn't as many of the like hardware shops and types of shops that I would use, because they were nearly all on Bridge Street. But there was a barber's upstairs.
Top Knot?
Top Knot. He was the first barber that used to wash your hair, which was sissified for men in them days, with men going in and having their hair washed. And now they have them all sorts of treatments now. So, and of course Tan Tires, we used to buy all our stuff at Tan Tires, which has been there a very long time, never changes, very good shop. Yeah.
And the street is continually changing. I mean, for all the years, there was Applebee's on the corner, and now that's in new hands.
I think the problem is, unfortunately, and I'm in favour of Sanderson Arcade. I think Sanderson Arcade for Morpeth was wonderful, but unfortunately we're losing the post office in Oldgate, and having Sanderson's Arcade and having the bottom end of Bridge Street becoming Superdrug, Boots the Chemist, the bigger stores. The town is drawing sort of more east. Yeah, it's east. Yeah, it's going east a lot more, and it's pulling off Newgate Street. We need to boost Newgate Street. I think people have got to realise the type of shops that we have. You know, we have about the best motor spare shop there is. You know, we did have the only bookshop at the time, which was excellent at the time. There's a lot of good shops on Newgate Street, but unfortunately we're losing them, and we're going to have to fight back somehow and get Newgate Street alive again. Yeah.
This exhibition, which is coming up, the Heritage Open Day, Morpeth Past and Present, also looks at Oldgate. Now, your home's in Oldgate. What do you recall about businesses that used to be here?
Where I actually live, in the shops that we rent out below, was the post office, which is now the picture gallery, picture framing shop, and the other shop is a Turkish barber's, and of course we live above that. As a child, I used to remember coming up the stairs, and it was Willie Walker, the bookmakers. Everybody knew Willie, little smart dapper fella, and he had a bookmakers upstairs. I used to come put the bets on for my dad, never thinking that one day I would actually live in his office. It would be our kitchen. And then of course there was Shotton's, which was a super little shop, and then there was Shotton's at Cobblers, that was there, and this was the post office. And Neil Robinson, who had the DIY shop, he used every room everywhere in that, what is my flat now, and the 2 shops downstairs. Then we got an opportunity when Matthew Charlton's bought it and moved across the road. We got an opportunity to buy it, so we bought it and we made the shops that are there today.
Mm. And when you look back on the changes in both of these streets, do you think it's amazing that so many businesses still are in family hands?
Yes, and I hope that increases. You know, we definitely need that family touch. As I said, I love Sanderson Arcade, it's right for what it is, but we do need that mix, and we do need the people like to the chocolate shop. Unfortunately, Blush is gone, but they've retired. You know, they didn't finish business, they just retired, which is a shame. But the cheese shop, the only cleaners in Morpeth, the instant dry cleaning. There's another pet shop now. Yeah, it's lively enough, but it could be better.